All right, Reggie Sr., I appreciate you coming back on the show. I know a lot of people really appreciated and loved the stories that you shared last time, so I'm excited to ask for a couple more if that's all right.
Yeah, it's okay with me.
Okay. To start off, can you tell me some stories from people that you remember that were part of Santana Block Crips, like Turtle or Gangster or Melle Mel?
Well, Turtle, Kenneth Dwayne Johnson. He I was kind of close to him. I really took to him. Um, Only I guess because I had known of him and his family when I was working for the Edison Company. My job at the Edison Company, part of it, was to collect light bills, basically. And over in that area where he was living on Roll Street, I had to spend a lot of time over there, trying to collect the light bills for families. And I had to go to his home a couple of times. And his mother was a real nice lady, real nice lady. I think she single mom, had a few kids. And I used to, I guess I could say it now because I won't get in trouble, but myself coming from a large family and living in the projects and the Imperial Courts and stuff, I remember my mama hiding from the light man coming to collect. So I had a little mixed emotion about my job. So I had to, in order to keep my job, I had to turn off lights sometime for people who couldn't make the payment. But right when I turned it off, I would show somebody in the family how to turn it back on. But my records would show it was on. And I remember Turtle's older brother. I would show him how to turn the lights back on. So they always kind of respected me. So when I became a police officer, a year or two after that, I encountered Turtle and them. They were forming their little Santana Block Crips at the time. And, naturally, if I had any dealings with them or anything, I always got the utmost respect. And so I really felt real bad the day that I heard that he was shot in Linwood right after he had gotten out of jail for something. But that's Turtle. But Gangsta Freddie Staves sort of like stepped in the leadership part of the Santana Block. He started gaining that same respect that Turtle had. Gangsta. I had the same relationship with him for the same reasons of working that area and going to his house before and knowing his family prior to that Santana Block formalizing themselves as gangsters. Got the utmost respect from him as well. There were a lot of situations that went down, and only thing I would do, I'd contact Freddie, and say, hey, this individual did this or that, or Mel did this, and he would see to them that they'll basically turn themselves into me, and answer for what was going on. So I always had that kind of respect for Freddie as well, and his little brothers, they sort of like Freddie did, respected me in my role, in dealing with them. So it worked out real well. Now, Melle Mel, I didn't really have a lot of contact with him because he was quiet. He didn't step out like they did. I met him and saw him hanging out and probably FI'd him a couple of times, but he always, to me, seemed like the smart one. Or one of the smart ones. There was a couple of them, but Melle Mel definitely was one of the ones that he would talk with you and stuff, but it was always at a more intellectual basis. So, but as far as gang banging activity and all that kind of stuff, I never had that experience with him, Melle Mel.
Okay. Are there any more members of Santana Blocks that stick out in your mind that you can speak on that you had dealings with?
Well, another little interesting character. Matter of fact, when I got on the sheriff's department uh, and was working Twin Towers over the at LCMC over the medical unit over there, I saw him. This was about 8 or 10 years ago. But at the time, Santana was I guess the one I used to like to challenge all the time. And that was Robert Jones. They call him Bay Rab. Or not, Bay Rob was Robert Franklin, but Rabbit. Bad Habit Rabbit. Now you're talking about an interesting young man. Very smart, but by the same token could be ignorant at the same time. That was Rabbit. I mean, every time I'd go over there and deal with something like that, I would get a challenge from him. Not disrespectfully, but, he wanted to prove he was the smart guy, in the group. And, but he never did anything real serious. Like I used to tell him he wasn't hard. He just wanted to profess to be hard. He wasn't hard. But he was a very interesting character. Then again, the other ones that stick out naturally were the Hartsfield's family. And that was Herbert Hartsfield. My names are slipping me right now. And the oldest one that was kind of pretty intelligent too. Not the oldest one. That was Junior, you might can help me with Sag. I mean, I think he has a podcast now. He was one of the brothers. And then I'm trying to think of the one, he was a taller one. He was in the little younger than the other Hartsfield. It was three of them, three brothers. They all was active, very active. But the unique part about dealing with them, their father was a reserve police officer with us. At the time I got on, his father had kind of retired from a reserve position. But every time I'd had little problems with them, I would go to their dad, and he would check them quick. So most of their activity was kind of behind them. But my favorite Santana, go to say other than maybe Turtle or Gangsta, was a female. And that was the Hartsfield sister, Joanne. That girl was a character. I mean, from the Crip side, she was like my Cynthia Nunn or my Sylvia Nunn. I don't know if she was as hard as Sylvia, but Joanne, you could deal with her, but she would keep it mellow, or if it was some of them wanted to act stupid, she would tell them they better chill out. That's why I compared her to Cynthia Nunn and Sylvia, because I had that same kind of respect from a female who had some clout in Pyrus and Luda Spark and all that. Joanne Hartsfield was that way. J-Bo.
Are there any more really active people from Santana Block that you remember other than the ones that you spoke on a few minutes ago?
Yeah, I just thought about the twins, Angelito and Angelo. Those were two blood brothers. Matter of fact, they were twins. That doesn't matter. One we used to call Grill because he had all his front teeth. And then the other one, how we distinguished him, he didn't have no upper front teeth. So we used to call him one Grill and one no Grill. But those characters, and we lost one. One of them got killed in a big gang, how would you say it? Not a rivalry, because they both were hanging out. Another set from Linwood, and the Santanas got into it over some girl or some dope or whatever. And they had a car chase where one of the twins was in this chase where the guys from Linwood was chasing them down Santa Fe, shooting at them. I mean, an actual OK Corral shootout from Linwood down to the south end of Compton on Santa Fe, just shooting at each other. And unfortunately, twin crashed on the south end. I think this was Angelito. I'm not sure. One of the two crashed out on the south end near the 91 freeway. And they ended up kidnapping him. Like once he crashed, they went and took him out of the crash and took him over to Johnson Street over in the Spooktown area and tortured him and shot and killed him. But he was active and they were doing a lot. The other one still alive today somewhere. I haven't talked to him in years, the other twin. But those two characters, I mean, they were deadly. I mean, and they weren't even from the area either. Matter of fact, I think they lived decent location somewhere in off of Gardena or near Gardena somewhere. But they were very active, Angelito and Angelo.